a Canadian radio sanctuary podcast.
And speaking to us today, on the line in New York City, Judy Collins. Her new album is called Times of Our Lives.
Hi, Judy.
Hi.
Oh, loud and clear. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
It's amazing that you're on Electra after all these years. Is there a...
It has to be either very good or very crazy, and sometimes I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
But it's been a long relationship, and one which I think has been very supportive.
What about Granddaddy? Can you tell us about that?
Well, that song really came out of my experience, my relationship with my grandfather, my mother's father. And the setting, in a way, is the same setting as my grandmother, the song called Secret Gardens about my grandmother's house in Seattle. He was a kind of a renegade, this guy. And I always heard about his escapades. He did go off to Chicago, disappeared for 2 years one time, and nobody had any idea what he was up to, where he went, or whether he would ever return. I like that streak of independence that runs through my family. It's very interesting.
You've done a number of Hugh Prestwood songs.
Well, he's from Texas. I found him about 4 or 5 years ago. He'd made a tape of songs, and I think a couple of singers had recorded things, but I can't remember who. But somehow somebody who was working for me looking for material found him, and once he and I met, he started playing me songs, and I think he's just a terrific writer. He's got a very, very commercial sense, but I think he also has a very lyric sense. It's a nice combination.
You've done Sun Sun, one of the McGarrigle sisters' songs.
Yeah.
Is that, how did that song come about? In fact, we were speaking recently with Kate McGarrigle, and she was saying you were thinking of recording one of their songs.
Yes, that was it, I guess. And I've known them for a long time, and I'm crazy about their work. So, like certain other writers, I keep my ears open for the new things that they're writing. And the last batch of new material they sent me, which they were working up for the album that they recorded, I guess in Canada, but it's released in Europe, the one on Polygram.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this song was on it, and I just fell right in love with it. And of course, it has some kind of sympathetic vibrations to some of the other material that's on the album, my grandfather's song, and the song about Mama, Mama. So it fit right in, really.
One of your trademark songs of the 70s has to be Send in the Clowns. How did the Stephen Sondheim song actually come to your attention? Did you see the play in New York, or what?
Oh, I didn't see the play. I think I was living in a hole that year, and I didn't even know that Little Night Music was a musical. I didn't know there was any music in it. That's how out of it I was. The play had been out for 2 years, and a friend of mine who occasionally hunts for material for me had sent it to me and said, I think this is a great song. And someone else who had seen the play that year kept saying, there's a good song in Little Night Music. And when the record came, I put the record on the turntable, dropped the needle on that cut, listened to that cut, and said, I want that. That's mine. Called Stephen Sondheim's, called Hal Prince's office and talked to Prince and said, gee, this is a great song. And he said, yes, about 150 people have recorded it. I said, gee, I love it so much, I just have to do it. Who would you recommend that I do the arrangements? And he sent me to Jonathan Tunick, who was a great discovery because he's one of the best orchestrators I think that's ever happened to musicals and or music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it happened. I heard Sinatra's version of it on a jukebox after I had found the song, and I said, well, it's okay, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
If I had heard it and if I had felt that he had taken it to a place beyond which I couldn't go, I wouldn't have done it. But it was one of those songs which had my name on it, which they happen sometimes.
Well, I think most people associate that song immediately with you.
Well, it became a very big hit. It had not been a hit before, and Sondheim credits me. I'm looking at a letter here that from him, from Sondheim himself, in fact, which says, "Dear Judy, and thanks for your giving me my first hit song. Gratefully, Stephen Sondheim."
That's nice. Gee, you must feel great when things like that happen, that kind of reinforcement.
It's wonderful. Just wonderful.
In your present concert stage show, your repertoire now, how far back do you go? The reason I asked is one of my favorite songs by you in the late 60s was Albatross and some of that era. Do you ever go back that far now?
Oh, yes, I do, definitely. I go back to the In My Life songs, and occasionally I even go back farther than that. So there's a whole range of material from over the 20 years.
By the way, I want to compliment you, too, after all these years, for your beautiful treatment of other people's songs. Like, your version of In My Life was a tribute, I thought, to John Lennon even before he passed on, you know?
Oh, thank you so much. Well, that's my forte. I do feel that my main area of development and my main interest in life is being an interpretive singer. And that means that I hunt. I spend a good deal of my life hunting for songs.
Judy, looking forward to seeing you here soon, and thank you for your time.
Wonderful. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.